Hello and welcome back once again to another video. In this one we've got a block toilet and a block cleaner sink at the recycling centre. We've got some block toilets in an office building and we've got something else and I can't remember what it is. Of course, the hospital.
Hello, I'm on TV. If you like this video, give a thumbs up and make sure to hit subscribe at the end.
Right, I think we should start with a simple block toilet. So, lots of paper in the pan. We've got this little rodding eye behind. So I'm going to start by popping that off and see if that is full up or whether the blockage is just in the pan itself. This is just a simple push fit cap, so I should be able to just pop it up like this. And then looking down the pipe, everything looks all good down there, so it appears to be our blockage is in the pan, so hopefully I can just give the toilet a little plunge and everything should be on its way. Let's just give this a little flush just to fill it up and then we'll get plunging. That seems very promising, so once this is refilled, we'll give it another flush, and fingers crossed it runs away nicely. And then we can move on to the second, not quite so easy blockage at the same site. I've just noticed that really odd sign that says please do not flush the toilet. I then moved on to job number 2, which was the next door down the corridor, where we've got a blocked cleaner sink, and there's lots of debris in the bottom. I'm not going to run the sink too much, but you can see that's filling up. So first thing we've got to do is get the trap off underneath, and hopefully the blockage is in there, fingers crossed.
Yeah, that's my screwdriver.
Well, looking at all the stuff that's hanging down there, I've got a pretty good idea what could be going on. I think our blockage is underneath the plug hole to the trap, because looking in the trap it doesn't look too bad. Just going to pull this stuff off here that's hanging down. You can still see the stum above, but we'll deal with that in a little bit. There's literally nothing in it. There's a little bit of staining, I'm going to say, in the trap. Nothing I can even really scrape off. It's just the colour of the trap is from years and years of mop buckets being poured down it. Let's move on back to this plug hole then. Now, I shined my light up through and couldn't see it from the top. So Yeah, that says to me under that plug hole and on top of that plug hole is absolutely solid. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's our problem. Yeah, this really wasn't the easiest thing to get clear. Eventually, I did manage to get everything out, so let's stick the trap back on and hopefully everything can run nicely. Before we give this sink a good test, I'm just going to scoop out some of this solids. It's very gravelly and muddy, so I don't want all that going in the trap. I don't know about you, but to me that looks like a running sink. A running sink that could do a very good deep clean. With that job done, we left and we are now heading for an office building that have got a couple of toilets blocked. They're all in a long row, gents and ladies, and the stack pipe's clear going down through the building, but the lateral running along the back of the toilets is blocked. We've been called in by a plumbing company, so here we are. Let's take a look and see what we got going on. Yep, that pipe is fully charged. It's stainless steel. It runs along the back of the toilets. It then goes into the, I'm going to say ladies next door. I can't remember which way around these toilets are. No, we're in the ladies. It runs cross into the gents, picks up a couple of other toilets the other side of the wall before dropping into the stack. To clear this one, we're going to use the Picote machine, which, I'll be honest, isn't actually the right tool for the job. The Picote is more of a descaler than a blockage machine, but that's going to stop me using it. That's not going to stop me using it anyway. So let's put it down there. We're going to push it down as far as we can by hand and then give it a spin and hopefully get this clear. After that, we're going to put the camera down there and see what's going on. Hello.
Hello, Mike.
You right?
Yeah, how are you getting on?
Terrible.
Oh, no. What is it?
Oh, just big machine in. God, you done?
Huh?
You done?
Yeah.
God, that's alright. Okay, after a lot of heavy editing and cutting out a lot of machining, the drain cleared. Right, let's get these toilets flushed. That should clear the line through. We can then get the camera in there and see exactly what we're dealing with. I've got a suspicion I know what it is, and I'm sure some of you are probably already guessing, so let me know your guesses down in the comments. As always, to camera this drain, we're going to use the Scanprobe X60. If you are looking for a drain camera, please check out Scanprobe's website. I've left a link in the description. Right, let's get the meter read zeroed and let's get this recording. Yeah, I can already tell the issue even from here. There's limescale building up in the bottom. Can you see that layer that's running along the bottom of the pipe? Now that's going to make it very uneven on the bottom, very bumpy. That's going to snag any paper, but we're going to carry on through and see what the rest of the line's like. As we put the camera through, you should see all the toilets connecting in on the left hand side. There is still a lot of paper and sewage holding in this line, so we are going to give the toilets a couple more flushes. But there is a stat pipe at the other end, and we know our issue is in the float line that the camera's currently in, because the stat pipe was still clear. So what we're going to do is machine backwards, and hopefully we should see the chains coming back through and cleaning that pipe. So as the chains come back, they're going to spin out to the full diameter of this pipe, which is 4 inch. That is going to hit most of the scale off and should leave it running a lot smoother. Now, this is an absolutely massive build, and we did use to descale it. And as with every company, they've let it go and get this bad. So what I'm going to do is recommend to them again, it may be worth them getting the rest of the stacks and everything done just to prevent blockages like this. As I do this, what I'm going to do is keep flushing the toilets just to keep everything moving. One thing you are going to notice as I do this is there's a bend in the end of my cable. So the chains aren't spinning very straight, so that's why it's jumping a lot. I do need to cut the end of the cable off and re-end it, but that's a very simple thing to do. But yeah, it just makes the chains
bounce about and splash water all over the camera, which is a bit annoying, to be honest, more than anything else. If you look carefully through the haze of sludge just built up on my camera lens, you will see there's a nice big pile of scale on the left hand side. That is all the stuff that we have machined off, so that is now loose. I'm just going to push it forward a bit. But yeah, we're going to get some water running down here in a minute and get this flushed through a bit better. This was the point that I noticed I've really bent the cable. Thinking of it now, I think I'm doing this the hard way because I've dragged the machine in here. It's not a very long line. I probably could have done this just with the extension cable and my drill and not had to have brought in a 110 box and an extension lead. I'm just going to pull the camera out of the way, pull the machine cable out, straighten my cable up a little bit on the end. It's probably worth saying it is one of the hottest days of the year, and it's been even hotter since this. I honestly don't know what I used to do before I had this machine. It is absolutely brilliant. I'm not saying that because I'm sponsored by them or anything, because I'm not. But yeah, I genuinely think this is a really good machine, and if your drain company doesn't have one, why don't you have one? Right, I've machined all the way forward, so I'm now going to do exactly the same in reverse. I know I'm not going to get this drain absolutely spotless. Now, the simple reason for that is allocated time on site. So the company we're working for has only authorised me to be on site for an hour, and I'm getting very close to that anyway. But I think we've done enough to say that it's unblocked. And to be honest, mostly descaled by the time I get the chains all the way back. But I'm definitely going to put forward the recommendations to a full descale on these toilets and the stack pipes, and to be honest, a full descale on all the building. Whether they go for it or not, I'm not too sure. Like I said, we did used to do it. So yeah, I could probably put this video forward to them and say, look, this is the condition of this set of toilets. What are the rest of them like? And we'll go from there. Out of interest, let me know in the comments, what would you do in this situation? Would you just wait for the next lot of toilets to block up? Or would you do a bit of preventative maintenance to keep on top of it? Although it may cost you more at the time, it'd probably save you money in the long run with the blockages. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Right, I had to swap GoPros at that point because as I was machining the last bit, my GoPro decided to overheat because it's so hot in this building. But we've now got the Scanprobe X60 back in the drain, so we're going to take a look and see how we're looking now. Like I said, it's not going to be absolutely perfect, but it should definitely help. Yeah, this is one of those really annoying ones because I want to get this drain absolutely spotless, but I just don't have the time to do it. If they'd authorise a little bit longer, I would, but yeah, it's not quite as simple as that. As you can see, there is still scale in this pipe, so I'm going to put that back and we'll see what happens. We'll either be back here again or we won't. Now, I'm going to give these toilets a lot more flushes to get all that loose scale through. And then we've got a blockage at the hospital, which I almost forgot about again. With that job done, I thought I was done for the day. And then I got a phone call. As always, can you go to the hospital? Yes, of course I can. That will make great content, so that is where we're heading. So for this job we have a blocked sluice room. Now this part of the hospital we've actually got a plan for, so I looked at the plan and I know exactly what pipe we got a jet, so we got the cover up and let's take a look with the X60. Can I get the camera across the dropper? That's the question. Yep, straight across. Happy days. So we are cameraing up from the rod and eye at the top, which is a higher level at the chamber. The pipe you could see that was going straight down is what we call a dropper, and that takes all the water and sewage down to, I say sewage, it's a sluice, so it's not sewage. But yeah, that takes that down to the bottom of the chamber, if that makes sense. Now we can see the 90 bend coming up here, and there is something hanging down there. Yeah, it's looking like our blockage could be right on this 90 bend. Let's just see if we can get the camera up around the bend and get a better shot of what is blocking it. Oh, look at that. Something that shouldn't be in the drain.
Is it?
There. I think.
How far is that?
7 meters. So again, I'm going to go up through that rod and eye, and we're going to jet up with a 6-back forward facing ball jet, and hopefully we're going to get this one clear. So what I'm going to do is send the jet up as far as it'll go till we get it to that 90 bend. I'm then going to stick the camera in, and hopefully we're going to see that blockage come past and go down the dropper.
This one did a lot of people's interest.
Oh, I can't do that hanging upside down anymore.
Mark was dreading that
Descale.
oh, on the, in the urinals and that on the inside.
Yeah. Right, so let's get the camera up past the dropper, and I just want to take a look where the jet is, make sure it is right up against that blockage. And yeah, once we got the camera up there and see what we're doing, we're going to stick the jetter back on and yeah, get this blockage clear. Now the pipe itself doesn't look in too bad condition, so I think this is simply down to something someone has put down there that shouldn't be in the pipe. There is a bit of a lip on this joint, but that shouldn't cause too many issues. If you do happen to be looking for a drain camera, please check out Scanprobe's website. There is a link in the description. But there is our jet, and we are right up against that blockage, so once we turn the jetter back on, fingers crossed we should get it clear.
Stuck in it.
Right, let's get the jetter back on.
Is that it?
Yeah, look at that screen.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look at that, green white. So I've now sent someone inside to get some water running inside. That is why this chamber is going really steamy, because they've got the hot water running. And we're going to have one last look with the camera just to double check we've got this clear.
I can imagine. Yeah, they were. Yeah, the rooms are busy. Right.
We're looking good so far. You can see that water coming down. Seems to be running lovely. We're going to carry on up right up to that 90 bend and hopefully look up the 90 bend and see a clear pipe.
Quite a long pipe, innit? You wouldn't think it'd be that far, would you?
Yeah, that's 7 meters. Do you want to turn that water off? I'll just get this camera around the bend.
Right, turn her off. Turn it off.
You good, alright?
Yeah, I think so.
Happy days. There is a bonus clip coming up at the end of this video, so please make sure you stick around. But as always, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have enjoyed it, please leave me a like, leave me a comment, and let me know you made it all the way to the end of this video. And most importantly, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'm trying to get this channel as big as possible. So yeah, somehow I've got to get a play button because my daughter wants one.
Please like and subscribe and leave a comment.